house fire on Christmas Eve destroys a home, but 5 children vanish into thin air. Years later, a mysterious photograph arrives in the mail showing one of the children fully grown. In 1945, Fayetteville, West Virginia, became the site of America's most baffling family tragedy. 9 children slept upstairs inside the 2-story wooden home of George and Jennie Sodder. Shortly after midnight, Jennie Sodder woke to the sharp, unfamiliar ringing of the telephone downstairs. She answered, only to hear a strange woman's voice laughing over weird background noises. Assuming it was a wrong number, she returned upstairs, noticing the house lights remained strangely illuminated. At 1 a.m., a heavy thud struck the roof, followed by a rolling, thudding sound. Half an hour later, Jennie awoke again to a thick, acrid cloud of smoke filling her bedroom. George Sodder scrambled to wake his family, escaping outside with 4 of his children into snow. But 5 children, Maurice, Martha, Louis, Jennie, and Betty, remained trapped in the blazing upper floor. George sprinted to grab his outdoor ladder, but it was missing from its usual spot against the wall. He rushed to start his 2 coal trucks, but both engines suddenly refused to turn over. Desperate, he tried to haul water from the yard rain barrel, only to find the water frozen solid. A daughter ran to a neighbor's house to call the local volunteer fire department for immediate help. But the telephone operator inexplicably failed to connect the emergency call to any local responders. Another neighbor drove into town directly to locate Chief Morris and summon the fire brigade. The entire 2-story house collapsed into a pile of white-hot ash within 45 minutes. Remarkably, the fire department did not arrive on the scene until 8 o'clock the next morning. Firefighters expected to find the tragic, charred remains of the 5 missing children inside the basement pit. But a thorough search of the rubble yielded 0 bones, 0 teeth, and 0 human fragments. Chief Morris claimed the intense heat of the blaze had completely cremated the bodies. Medical experts later refuted this, stating a wood fire cannot incinerate human bones so thoroughly. Days after the fire, the missing ladder was discovered hidden deep inside a nearby drainage ditch. A repairman inspected the cut telephone wire, confirming it had been intentionally sliced with pliers. George Sodder remembered a strange visitor weeks earlier who had threatened his family over local politics. The visitor warned that George's home would go up in smoke because of his anti-Mussolini views. Another stranger had inspected the house, ominously warning that the fuse boxes would one day cause a fire. Yet, the local power company had recently inspected the wiring, declaring it completely safe and code compliant. The Sodder family realized their children had not perished in the fire, but had been kidnapped. George bulldozed dirt over the basement site, planting a garden in memory of his missing children. In 1949, the family hired a pathologist to conduct a private excavation of the buried basement earth. The team recovered a small section of a human vertebrae bone from the excavated soil. Smithsonian experts analyzed the bone, determining it belonged to an individual much older than the children. Furthermore, the bone showed 0 signs of ever being exposed to fire or extreme heat. Rumors surfaced that Chief Morris had secretly buried a beef liver at the site to fake remains. When confronted, the fire chief admitted he had staged the scene to give the family closure. This bizarre revelation shattered the family's trust in local law enforcement completely and forever. The Sodders erected a massive wooden billboard along Route 19 featuring photos of their missing 5. They offered a massive reward of $5,000, later doubling it to $10,000 cash. Thousands of travelers passed the billboard yearly, sending tips from every corner of the nation. A woman in Florida claimed to have seen the children at a diner accompanied by suspicious adults. Another witness reported seeing the children residing in a hotel in Charleston shortly after the fire. George Sodder personally traveled across the country to investigate every single credible lead himself. He drove to a town in Texas after receiving a tip that one son was living there under an alias. But the young man refused to speak with George, leaving the father heartbroken and empty-handed. Investigators explored theories involving the Sicilian mafia targeting George's coal transportation business. Others speculated the children were taken by an illegal adoption ring operating across state borders. Jennie Sodder wore black clothing exclusively for the rest of her life as a symbol of mourning. She spent her days tending to the memorial garden planted directly over the foundation of her lost home. In 1968, 23 years after the fire, a mysterious envelope arrived in the mail for Jennie. Inside was a photograph of a young man in his late 20s who strongly resembled Louis Sodder. On the back of the photograph was a handwritten, cryptic message containing numbers and names. The family hired a private detective to travel to Kentucky to trace the origin of the envelope, but the detective vanished completely after arriving, never contacting the Sodder family ever again. The family updated the famous billboard on Route 19 to include the new photograph of adult Lewis. George Sodder passed away in 1969, never knowing the true fate of his beloved children. Jennie Sodder passed away 20 years later in 1989, holding on to hope until her final breath. The surviving Sodder siblings continued the relentless search for their missing brothers and sisters for decades. Today, the site of the Sodder home remains one of America's most haunting cold case locations. Let us examine the strange physical clues that local investigators overlooked on that fateful Christmas night. A trolley driver reported seeing a man throwing balls of fire at the roof of the house. Days after the blaze, the children found a small green rubber object in the yard debris. Experts identified it as an incendiary device casing commonly used in military sabotage operations. Why would someone deploy military-grade explosives against an innocent family in rural West Virginia? George's vocal opposition to the Italian fascist regime made him a prime target for foreign operatives. Local Italian immigrants who supported Mussolini had repeatedly clashed with George in town meetings. Could his children have been taken as political leverage or punishment by powerful international entities? The lack of human remains in the ash pit remains the most compelling proof of abduction. Crematorium experts confirmed that human bones require temperatures over 1800 degrees to burn away completely. The wood fire at the Sodder home could never have reached the thermal levels necessary for cremation. Furthermore, household appliances like the basement iron stove were found completely intact in the debris. If delicate metal stove parts survived the fire, human bone structures would have certainly remained behind. This scientific impossibility fueled the family's relentless quest for the ultimate truth for 50 years. The mystery of the cut telephone line points to a calculated, multi-person conspiracy effort. The severed line was located high up the pole, requiring specialized climbing equipment to reach. A local man was later arrested for stealing the line, claiming he thought it was a power cable, but investigators never established a clear link between the wire thief and the arsonists. What about the two coal trucks that both refused to start on the night of the blaze? George had driven both vehicles earlier that afternoon with zero mechanical issues whatsoever. A mechanic who examined the trucks later stated that the ignition wires had been intentionally tampered with. Every escape route and rescue option available to the Sodder family had been systematically sabotaged. This level of strategic planning indicates a highly disciplined team rather than a random accident. How were 5 children quietly removed from a burning home without waking the sleeping parents? Some theorists suggest the children were drugged or taken before the fire was ever set. This would explain why Jennie heard a heavy thud on the roof, the arsonists escaping. The strange phone call Jennie received at midnight remains another chilling piece of the puzzle. Was the caller testing to see if the family was sound asleep before the abduction began? Or was it a deliberate distraction designed to keep Jennie awake while operatives entered? The mysterious photo of adult Lewis Sodder in 1968 reignited international public interest. Facial recognition experts who analyzed the picture confirmed a striking structural match to young Lewis. The dark eyes, prominent cheekbones, and lip shape aligned perfectly between the two images. Why did Louis send the photo anonymously without providing a return address or phone number? Was he being monitored or threatened by the individuals who had taken him as a child? The cryptic message on the back, "Ill boys," has stumped cryptographers and researchers for decades. Some believe it refers to a specific location in Italy, while others see a coded message. The disappearance of the private investigator hired by the Sodders adds another dark layer. Did the detective uncover the truth in Kentucky, only to be silenced by powerful forces? The Sodder family never gave up, keeping the Route 19 billboard standing for decades. It became a landmark in West Virginia, a symbol of a family's unyielding love and grief. Sylvia Sodder, the youngest surviving child, spent her life advocating for her missing siblings. Before her passing, she maintained that her brothers and sisters were out there somewhere. Modern DNA technology could potentially solve the case if new remains or descendants are found. Genetic genealogy databases offer hope that a relative might one day match the Sodder lineage. The story of the Sodder children remains an open wound in the history of American true crime. 5 young lives erased in a single night, leaving behind only questions, ash, and shadow. Was it a tragic arson accident mishandled by local police, or a cold-blooded kidnapping? The evidence points overwhelmingly to a calculated abduction hidden behind a wall of fire. The memory of Maurice, Martha, Louis, Jennie, and Betty lives on through history. Their faces on the Route 19 billboard remind us that some mysteries refuse to die. Real monsters do not always hide in dark woods. Sometimes they walk among us in daylight. The truth about the Sodder children remains locked safely inside the vault of history. Until new evidence emerges, the Christmas Eve nightmare of 1945 will haunt us forever. The family's unyielding love stands as a testament to the power of hope against dark odds. The missing five may be gone, but their story continues to captivate minds across generations. What do you believe happened to the 5 missing Sodder children on that fateful night? Share your thoughts and theories in the comment section below. We read every single response. If this cold case investigation kept you captivated, please hit the like button right now. Make sure to subscribe to the channel to unlock more unsealed historical mystery archives. Thank you for watching, stay vigilant, and we will see you in the next case.